Welcome in. It is the final drive presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Great to have you with us. Dave Revson, Howard Griffith, and Marcel Reese. A day with some chaos across the country, but it was smooth sailing in the Big Ten.
Well, the Big Ten teams that were supposed to win going out and taking care of their business, and there's some chaos in some other conferences. Gives the Big Ten an opportunity to move up this week.
Yeah, listen, this is the best conference in college football. Let's just go out there and say it, and today proved it again.
We have the last two national champs. You also have the top two ranked teams in the country in Ohio State and Indiana. So let's start with those top two and show you how they fared on this Saturday. In a word, the answer is well. Late second quarter, Ohio State taking on Penn State. Julian Sayin, Carnell Tate's usually a good idea to throw it up to that guy. 8 receptions, over 40 yards this year for Tate. 2 of today, Ohio State on top, 17-7. Give Penn State credit. Hung around early in this game. Katron Allen got him within 3 at the half. But in the third quarter, this passing game of the Buckeyes taking over. It's Sayin to Tate. Again, Howard.
Look at the timing that he has, and it's the opportunity to complete the ball down the field. Just elite wide receivers to do a great job of route running.
Sayin 20 of 23 in this game. He's completing 80.7% on the year, on pace for an all-time single-season record. Hits Jeremiah Smith in stride there. 6 catches, 123 yards for him. That set up Sayin to Bennett Christian, and OSU pulling away up 31-14. Now, early fourth quarter, I mean, even when they weren't thrown well, they still ended up as touchdowns. Even LeBron James was impressed with Jeremiah Smith, the one-handed grab, as Ohio State and Ryan Day celebrate their 9th straight win over the Nittany Lions. 38-14 the final. Jenny Taft got the postgame reaction.
There was an urgency I could sense from you starting that second half, and really then there was no looking back. How pleased are you with the finish from your group?
Yeah, like you said, going into halftime, those last 5 minutes were not really good. There was a bad taste in everybody's mouth at halftime. We talk about, when you come into halftime, you're winning, losing, or tied, and then we got to move on. And so we were up by 3 going in. We had to come down and, get a quick score there to start the second half. We did that. Then we started playing complimentary football, and I thought the energy was great in the second half.
It's hard to talk anything negative about your receivers, right? Obviously, Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Smith, 120 yards each today, and you celebrated that Jeremiah Smith catch in the fourth quarter. How impressed are you?
Well, that was just one heck of a catch. It wasn't exactly how we drew it up, but Julian played his tail off, threw a couple big-time deep balls in the second half, and both Carnell and Jeremiah, got behind them and made some big-time plays. And I think when we have balanced football like that, that's when we're at our best, and still got a lot of football ahead of us.
4 touchdown passes for Julian Sayin. Obviously, this was a great performance from you, and watching you evolve with this group has been so fun to see. How comfortable are you feeling leading this offense?
Yeah, I think it's been good. The guys have been doing a really good job in practice throughout the weekend, shows up on Saturdays. We still have a lot of work to go and a lot of things to get better at, but I think, as an offense, the whole collective is doing a good job.
Is it a dream come true when you're looking at guys like Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate?
It really is. I mean, they get back there in the secondary, and they made some great plays today. Jeremiah had the tip ball. He made a special play and kind of saved me right there. So that was a great job by him.
Our Auto Owners Insurance game leaders takes a look at where Smith and Tate stack up among the best duos for Ohio State through 8 games. I mean, this tells you how great the other guys are. They're third in the last 5 years. So that tells you how great the receivers through Columbus have been, because Smith and Tate are special. Marcel,
Incredible.
This is
every
a
name,
fabulous duo.
Every name on that list performs and like a star on Sundays as well.
Yeah, Brian Hartline has done an unbelievable job, one, recruiting them to Ohio State, and then developing them while they're in that wide receiver room, and just continues to show just what an outstanding coach he has become.
He was a part of a great wide receiver room himself.
This is true.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. The passing game, I mean, to see the way that Julian Sayin has taken command of this offense, guys. Again, he's got fabulous wide receivers, but I mean, to step into this role, essentially never having played before, and to be completing nearly 81% of your throws, I mean, it's shocking to me how good he's been.
Yeah, it really is. And just the way he's been able to handle this assignment of being the starting quarterback at Ohio State. That is a big deal when you look at the pressure that he's under each and every week. And even so, having these great wide receivers, I think also takes away from him because it's like, okay, well, look who he's throwing to. He doesn't have to be great. They're going to make great plays. But for a quarterback to still be able to really run this offense the way he does, it really speaks volumes to his preparation and what a player he is.
You're right. He orchestrates everything very well for this Buckeyes offense. And, you know, it's not like he's just Oprah out there where you get a touchdown and you get a touchdown, you have 100 yards, you have 100 yards. Julian Sayin is making really good decisions. He has some phenomenal throws week in and week out. And when you see talented weapons, whether they're tight end, wide receiver, and running back, not having any gripes about the football, that means you have someone commanding your huddle that demands their respect and also plays the game the right way and makes the proper decision, and he's going through his reads. Julian Sayin is a superstar right now.
We've talked a ton about this defense. The Buckeyes did give up 14 points in the first half. They'd given up 12 all year.
We just bet them.
Games. Yeah,
they're no good now.
I think we're out on it. Now, I give Penn State credit. Penn State came to play and played a good first half, I thought.
Yeah, we were talking about this. Penn State found a little something and started to have some success with some of the wide zones that they were running, getting to the edge. So what Penn State was doing, they haven't packed it in either. They're still playing hard out there.
If you watch that first half, Penn State did a ton of preparation, and they found something that worked against that Ohio State defense. Did something that no one has done on Ohio State all year long. But Matt Patricia got them in to halftime. And I don't know what he said or how he said it, but it worked.
I think we may have a sense of how he said it. Penn State 0-5 now. It does not get significantly easier for the Nittany Lions because next week they will take on Indiana. Yes, Indiana, the number 2 team in the country. A beautiful segue to their game against Maryland. Yes, speaking of, Fernando Mendoza and company taking on the Terps. Elijah Surratt, their outstanding wide receiver. You see, pulls up a little bit in a route there, grabbed his hamstring, did not come back into the game. Indiana down 3-0 in the first quarter. Fernando Mendoza ends that quickly.
Hey, diddle, right up the middle.
There you go.
Hoosiers on top 7-3. They're on top 10-3 now. Mendoza to Omar Cooper. 17-3 in favor of the Hoosiers, up 20-3 at the half. Their run game was fabulous today. Kalon Black pulling away. Indiana 27-10, 367 rushing yards. That's their most in a conference game in 9 years. And then Maryland had all kinds of turnover issues, 5 of them. Malik Washington coughing it up there. Devon Boykin takes it in for the Hoosiers, 34-10. And then it's Roman Hemby against his former team, 55-10. The Hoosiers are 9-0 for the second straight year. It had never happened in 136 years of football prior to that. Kurt Cignetti's team is rolling.
At the end of the day, the defense created 5 turnovers. This was the number 1 team in the country in turnover ratio going into the game. Offense ran the ball for 370 yards. And I think Maryland ran for 25. So it's hard to win on the road. It's a really good win.
It really didn't appear to be that hard for them. They won fairly easily.
Yeah.
It does speak to how good they are because, again, I think to Kurt Cignetti's point, Maryland's a pretty good team. I mean, we've seen this all year. It hasn't necessarily resulted in wins, but they had played everyone close up until here when the Hoosiers absolutely blew them out.
Yeah, because Maryland, I thought, gave them a really good challenge early, particularly when you talk about Maryland's defense going against Indiana's offense. There were a lot of batted balls, so much so that something that we hadn't seen from this Indiana offense, really getting a lot of balls batted down, and they had to make some adjustments in the game plan, and they were able to do that. But when you run the football the way they did today, on the road, you're going to win most of those games.
367 yards on the ground. That means you're controlling everything in this game. That means you have the ball longer than the opposing team. That means you're ahead of the sticks. And they were averaging 7.1 yards a carry. You're already at a short yardage after one play. Yeah. This team dominates at the line of scrimmage. Roman Hemby and Keelan Black, they have two phenomenal running backs. It's a two-headed monster, and they don't care about stats. This team is not only efficient, but they're also explosive in the run game.
Largest margin of victory for them in a conference road game since 1988. I mean, they just continue to roll on here.
It's crazy, Dave, because you keep coming every week and you bring a new one with you.
How about this? How about margin of victory?
Talk to me.
35.7 points per game. There's only been one team to finish a season higher this entire century in college football. So keep an eye on that. I mean, they are destroying people, and I did the math, guys. There are 3 remaining conference opponents. Hold on one second. Carry the one. The 3 remaining conference opponents have 0 wins.
So that didn't look good.
Carry the one.
Yeah.
Carry the one.
Didn't need to carry the one.
Need to carry.
Yeah. Anyway, so much more to come on the show. A good one in Lincoln, USC rallying to get past the Huskers. We will show you how they got it done on the road, and a little closer than expected in Ann Arbor. Michigan riding its ground game to a narrow win. This is the final drive. Nebraska hosting USC. Blackout conditions at Nebraska. What a cool scene that is. Husker faithful ready to roll, and so was the visiting team in USC. You see Dylan Raiola getting ready. His health would be a big story in this game. Started well for the home team as Raiola hits Dane Key for the touchdown here. Nebraska, the early 7-0 lead. They struggled, though, to throw the football in this game, just 98 yards on 22 attempts. The run game was clicking. Emmett Johnson, 165 rushing yards on the day. The Huskers take a 14-6 lead. Third quarter, huge play in the game. Raiola is sacked. He loses the ball. It's recovered by the Trojans, but Raiola, hurt on the play, would be helped off the field. TJ Lateef coming in relief of Raiola, who would not return to the game. Now still third quarter, same score, USC ball. Maeva, 16 yards for the touchdown, and USC went for 2, got it, tied it at 14. How about King Miller? What a story this guy's become with all the injuries they've had in the backfield. 6 yards for the touchdown. First lead of the game for the Trojans. Now same score, late fourth quarter on a 4th and 1. Johnson is stuffed, and USC gets the ball back and runs out the clock as the Huskers lose their 29th straight against ranked opponents. Haven't won one in 9 years. USC going on the road and winning for just the 3rd time in its last 10 road games.
Really the story, our defense was phenomenal. We had some really big-time special teams plays as well, and it was fitting that our defense was the one to really close it out right there at the end. So road wins are never easy. They just aren't. They just find a way to never be easy, and it's the hardest thing to do in college football. And so, yeah, just crazy proud of this group. This was a big win for this team, big win for our program. And you keep winning these, you just keep putting yourself in better and better position, and this team's in a great position right now.
We had a lot of opportunities to win the football game, and really the third quarter, a couple drives there that were just kind of put us out of whack, and then never really were able to get back in rhythm offensively to make the plays you have to make to win the game. And so, Dylan wanted to go. It didn't seem like he probably would be able to protect himself and could go. Obviously, Pritchard went down, a place we're pretty thin at already. So, we'll see how they are tomorrow.
Guys, impressive win for SC. A game both of those teams needed. They were among those Big Ten teams trying to stay in that college football playoff discussion. SC gets the win, Marcel, and gets it. Well, the guys turned into a great story. I mean, King Miller, you think about the injuries, Eli Sanders, Wayman Jordan, they were running the ball so well. Yeah. And Miller, a walk-on, has stepped in. They haven't missed a beat.
Yeah, King Miller comes into the season, and he's number 3 on the depth chart in the running back room, not sure where he can come. He shows in a few weeks and continues to show he is ready for the lights. Right here, he has a little misdirection with the slide coming across his face, puts his foot in the ground and gets up the hash. What I love about the way that King Miller runs is he doesn't just look for the sideline, continues to take advantage of the hashes in the middle of the field and keeps the legs churning. And when he gets in the low red zone, he has a nose for the end zone and fives pay dirt. That's what you want from your running back. You don't stop your feet churning. He runs tough. He's fast, extremely explosive, and like you saw him today, 18 carries, 129 yards, and a 7.2 average every single time he touches the ball tonight. Yeah. That's special.
Really makes great decisions when he runs the ball, protects it, keeps it high and tight. Really is giving this offense a little bit of a boost. And we can see when SC makes a concerted effort to run the football, good things happen for this franchise.
Yeah, this is their 5th game this year with 200 or more rushing yards, their most in 9 years. And they struggled to throw the ball, understandably. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about one of the best pass defenses in the country in Nebraska. Man, for the Huskers guys, it just feels like another missed opportunity. I mean, we've talked about the streak and not being able to beat a ranked opponent. They had the opportunity against Michigan earlier this year. Didn't get it done. The opportunity here against SC. Obviously, Raiola's injury had a lot to do with it.
But also execution.
Yeah.
Emmett Johnson, who I believe is one of the best backs in this league, on that 4th down play, gets his feet tied up and is unable to convert, because if that hadn't happened, that would have been an easy 1st down. May have changed the outcome of this game.
Frustrating for the Huskers and their fans because you're right there and in a tight game. You just feel like you couldn't get over the hump and get out of your own way to execute the play to get that win and get that hump off your back, the monkey off your back of not winning against a ranked opponent, a good ranked opponent in SC.
Still have never beaten SC. This is the 7th all-time meeting, the only team Nebraska's played more than 5 times and never beaten. It's one of the night games in the Big Ten. The other one was here on the Big Ten Network, Purdue and Michigan. That not a great sight for Michigan faithful. Justice Haynes out on a scooter. Jordan Marshall was just scooting. 54 yards to the house. Michigan on top 7-0. Now, 2nd quarter, Purdue knocking on the door. Well, creativity, direct snap there. Antonio Harris ties the game at 7. To the 3rd quarter we go. It's 14-10 Wolverines. Bryce Underwood was not one of his better games. Trying to get into the end zone here, but he's stripped and the ball rolls out for a touchback. They're stunned in the student section. To the 4th quarter we go. Michigan driving, and this time they put it in the hands of Marshall, which was a good idea throughout this game. How about 185 rushing yards, somehow keeping it going there, Howard?
Well, he wasn't able to explain how he got out of that either, so great job by him.
No one was more surprised than him. Ryan Brown to Malachi Thomas. Purdue, give them a ton of credit. They played well, hanging around this game, went for 2, didn't get it. It was 21-16, but they just were not able to stop that Michigan ground game, and Marshall, 25 yards. Michigan able to run out the clock. They win it by the final of 21-16. Their 7th straight win over the Boilermakers as Michigan gets the victory. It's 29th straight home win against unranked teams. Brooke Fletcher getting the post-game reaction.
Coach, it wasn't perfect, but how'd you see this group battle to the finish here tonight?
Oh, man, it was good to finish, man. It's just so much to clean up, a lot to clean up. You know, you get in the red zone, you want to go score those touchdowns. You know, kind of frustrating, but when you're frustrated and you win, that's a good thing. So, you know, we got to clean some things up. It's coming at the right time. That's bye needed. Going to heal some guys up, get some guys back.
Take me through the mindset coming into this game. You were given this opportunity with some guys going out.
Just to play hard, be where my team needs me to be. Come out here, play hard, play for each other, play for Justice, who I wish he could be out here, but just play for the guys, play for Michigan.
Bryce, first win of November here at home. Just how would you describe the importance of getting this one here, just to kind of set the tone and show how this group wants to finish?
Definitely our goal at practice every single day is be 1-0, win a day, win a day, win a day. So today we came out of win and executed what we did at practice. So,
Derek, you've had 2 sacks in each of your last 3 games. What do you attest that to?
Really just, you know, giving all glory to God, just letting him, you know, allow me to be confident and trust myself and just play fast.
You know, it was a group effort here defensively tonight. You were depleted in that linebacker room. How did you make of the way this group responded the way that they did?
First, I want to say I'm proud of you know, the young guys for stepping up. You know, we had a lot of guys, you know, bruised and banged up, but I feel like the young guys, you know, came out showed off, play their butts off, and what I try to do to just have great leadership on the sideline. I let them know, it's a close game, but we still in it. Let's just put our head down and keep fighting.
The identity of this Michigan team is very clear, and I think it's the same identity as many of their best teams that we've seen here in recent years. They're playing outstanding defense, and they are running the ball. And to do it without Justice Haynes, man, Jordan Marshall was fabulous, as he has been here for much of this year.
Yeah, really shown his ability to be the lead guy if need be. He's been able to share time in the past, but now in this particular game, he was called on to be the main ball carrier and did an outstanding job. I think he did a great job here of just being patient and running the football, but it starts up front with this offensive line. He's able to hit the home run here, but this offensive line is allowing him to get to that second level, which is important. You see the quick jump cut there, as he talked about. I'm not sure how he got out of it. He said he just kept pushing and driving the legs, and that's one of the things you want to do. And then here, it's really good. You talk about being able to set the edge as a defensive player, but setting the edge as an offensive player, man on the line of scrimmage, gives that back an opportunity to bounce it out, and that's what they were able to do. They did really a tremendous job by this O-line, and Marshall was the beneficiary of that today.
I love Jordan Marshall's game and the mentality that he plays with. He finishes run always moving forward, his helmet always pointed to his end zone and not going backwards. He just has that prototypical Wolverine build for a running back. Think Mike Hart. He just looks like him the way they run. I love his vision in the game. He's patient to the line, and he has speed and acceleration through the line. And as a running back, like I know, once you see that open green grass, you get home on the home run.
One of the common threads when you talk about this Michigan team, when they talk about each other, it's really about playing for one another. You always start to hear that when Harbaugh got this thing really rolling, and that's continued to play out, and even through this team.
This is a team that is really banged up, a linebacker crew decimated. They had several players leave the game during the course of the game. Donovan McCulley was out. Wide receiver crew's banged up. They got a bye week coming up before they take on Northwestern. They really need it. Remember, Northwestern and Maryland, if you can get through those two, you go into that game where there's one more game at the end. Yes, this is unusual this year. They're playing Ohio State in the final game.
First time this happened.
Hypothetically,
That's a new one.
Were they to get there at 9-2 and win that game, we would be talking about a college football playoff team. A lot of football, though, between now and then. Still a lot of football to talk about in this show. Ashley and Brock are going to join us next. They're going to talk about the Fighting Illini getting a bounce-back performance. Plus, the Spartans making a change at quarterback. Not quite enough, though, to get past the Gophers. Still plenty more highlights to get to on the Final Drive.
Back with you on Final Drive. Illinois and Rutgers. Rutgers coming off their first Big Ten win of the season with a little confidence. Illinois trying to get right after 2 straight losses. Could they get their season back on track? First possession of the game.
He's pretty open.
You don't get much more open than that. Caden Fagan strolling in. That capped a 99-yard scoring drive for Illinois just before the break. 4th and goal. Barry Lunny in his bag today, Brock.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. As a defender, I don't know what you do here. I don't know who you're supposed to follow. You're always wrong.
Fagan takes the snap, hands it to Altmaier, and that's a 3-yard touchdown. 5 of 5 in the red zone for Illinois on Saturday, and they'd score again before the half.
He's open.
Easy pitch, Hank Beatty, a 1-yard strike. The Illini up 21-6 at the break, 3rd quarter. More from Altmaier to Hudson Clement, who, look at that catch.
Perfectly placed ball, perfect focus. That is how you make your quarterback happy.
First receiving touchdown of the season for Clement Altmaier with 5 total touchdowns. Illinois rolls 35-13 the final.
Honestly, I promise you I knew this was going to be win number 6, but I hadn't thought of it in that context. I just wanted to win because I thought a 6-3 team, going into where we're at down the stretch and where everything is. And I saw Duke beat Clemson today, right? So you start thinking about all the things that can happen with rankings. Obviously, I know we're a 6-3 team, but I'd put us as good as any 6-3 team out there. It doesn't do us a lot of good, but I'm just telling you, I like this football team. Have one of the hardest rated schedules we've played to this point, and obviously can't change the math, right? But we're a 6-3 team that I think got better today, and that's all I cared about. I couldn't be more excited about where we're at, what we're doing. I promise you, to see that crowd out there today, The game kind of laid on, and we're on a little bit, so the crowd wasn't quite there at the end. But I really want to do something at the end, so hopefully next week or the next home game against Maryland, we could do something to thank them.
Yeah, first time since 2010-2011 that they are bowl eligible in consecutive seasons, and you look at the numbers there for Luke Altmaier. He would have been a good choice for QB1 in Week 10. Brock, maybe next time. But this was impressive. And again, coming off two tough losses, Ohio State and Washington, this was a get-right game, and it was nice to see him play the way they did.
And I like that Coach Bielema is leaning into the campaigning for a CFP spot, right? I know there's differing opinions. Hey, you need to take the season one game at a time, but he knows the reality. Hey, we're behind the 8 ball a little bit. Let me get us out there. And what Luke Altmaier did and Barry Lunny Jr., the play caller, did offensively, masterclass. The best both of them have looked all season long. Luke was in full control, whether he was throwing the ball, whether he was as a runner, he was doing everything he needed to do, and that offensive play calling was creativity personified. They make one heck of a case as a 3-loss team.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. We'll see what happens on Tuesday when the CFP committee comes out with those first rankings. A thought on Rutgers, now 4-5. Again, they came back and beat Purdue, and it felt like there was so much energy and excitement, and then fell flat.
A little one-dimensional today. Illinois, to their credit, their secondary came to ball, and they haven't been coming to ball every single week. Today, that was definitely the case. KJ Duff and Ian Strong both out there, and Ethan Kaliak-Manis was trying to force the ball to them, but without the real impact of Antoine Raymond, and then you fall behind a little bit, so you have to throw the football. It's just tough to beat good teams one-dimensional.
Yeah, and so interestingly enough, the next opponent for both of these squads is Maryland at home. Yes, Rutgers hosts the Terps next week, and then the Illini get them after their bye. Dave, we'll go back to you.
All right, let's check in on Michigan State and Minnesota. Aiden Childs did not get the start in this game for Michigan State. Instead, it was Alessio Milivojevic, and Milivojevic finding Rodney Bullard, the Valdosta State transfer.
All right.
One catch all year. Coming into this one, he goes 71 yards for the touchdown. Michigan State down 10-0, cuts it to 10-7. To the fourth quarter we go, tied at 10. Brandon Tullis pounding it in, and Michigan State on top 17-10. Ensuing Gopher drive, though. 30 seconds to go. Drake Lindsay in for the 2-yard touchdown. We head to overtime, tied at 17. In the OT, Milivojevic looking for Bullard. Incomplete. A flag comes out for pass interference, but then the officials pick up the flag. You can see Jonathan Smith not happy. You saw the grab of the shirt there. Spartans settle for a field goal. Ensuing Gopher possession on a 3rd and 4. Lindsay throws incomplete, but a flag comes out there for pass interference, and Minnesota gets a fresh set of downs, and now on a 3rd and goal at the 3. It is Lindsay diving for the pylon. It was ruled a touchdown on the field. They review it and upheld the call, and P.J. Fleck and company get the win 23-20. Rhett Lewis afterward with the winners.
It doesn't get much more dramatic than that at the very end. What was going through your mind there with Drake Lindsay on the run?
You know, he played pretty inconsistent. We coached inconsistent. We got to give them credit. They fought, scratched, clawed. Michigan State's a really good team. Coach Rossi knows a lot about us, shut us down in the second half. There was no quit on that sideline. They were just, give us one more shot, give us one more shot, give us one more shot. Five's gutsy, man. He's a freshman. Listen, it doesn't always go perfect, but I'm so glad that he made that play.
You guys talked all week about the bounce back, right? Can't skip any steps with your development. What did this game mean to you on that front for your progress?
Yeah, you know, we didn't play very well. We didn't execute the best, but we showed up when it mattered most, man. That last drive to force overtime was huge by everyone on the offense. Great job by Coach Harbaugh, man, putting me in a great position to succeed and the offense to succeed. And that's just who we are, man. We fight to the end, and I'm just so happy we pulled it out.
Drake, you got a lot of skills, man.
Yes, sir.
Didn't know that mobility was the one we were going to see for the game winner.
Yeah.
What went through your mind? You hear that call and you get that opportunity.
Yeah, you know, when he told me, I was obviously excited for the moment. Go make a big play when it matters most. And then the guy didn't pull with me. I thought he was going to dive down. He didn't. Just made a guy miss and then scored. And then the O-line played a great game, man, and I'm just so excited.
Gophers are bowl eligible once again for the 5th straight season, 7th time in 9 years under P.J. Fleck. And I think it speaks volumes about this team, given the way that they had played the week before against Iowa, to come back and to figure out a way to pull out a win. I mean, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster here from the Nebraska game to the Iowa game to this one, but this team seems to have a little bit of a knack and a little bit something different, particularly at home.
Yeah, I think you have to give this team a lot of credit, and particularly PJ Fleck and what he's been able to do. I think privately he'll probably tell you this is one of his toughest coaching jobs, but I think one of the one he'll be feel most rewarded about doing when he looks back at the end of the year, because there's so many buttons he needed to push. There were so many things that were uncharacteristic about this team compared to other teams that he's had success with, but they were able to answer the call. Anytime something comes up and they had a chance to make a play, they found a way to make a play today.
Yeah, what you're talking about, Howard, the uncharacteristic traits of this Minnesota team that isn't, what we're used to seeing from PJ Fleck teams, whether it's running the football. They did a good job in the first half, but the second half they didn't really do much. So this Minnesota Gophers team plays a lot different than PJ Fleck's normal teams do. But again, you get a win and you get to get better while you win games, and that's what you want to do.
64th win for Fleck at Minnesota, ties our old buddy Glenn Mason for 4th on the all-time list. Got to talk about Michigan State. Yeah. I mean, they certainly got a good performance at quarterback. It'll be interesting to see what they do going forward. And the officiating, they're not going to be happy with. Yeah. I don't think there's any question about that. Unusual to see a flag thrown and then picked up, but Michigan State certainly has a lot to feel good about from the performance, just didn't get a win.
Absolutely. I think that's a different discussion for a different day, but I will tell you this. I thought that they were able to take a step forward, particularly offensively, as we talked about. This is a team that was really able to move the ball once they made some corrections in pass protections, because they were really under duress. That offensive line really struggled early in this game.
Those corrections and adjustments that they made, particularly at halftime in the run game, made a big difference. 16 yards in the first half, 139 yards on the ground in the second half. Those adjustments are something to build on throughout the rest of this season.
They outgained Minnesota by 230 yards in the second half.
10 penalties, though.
Yeah.
10 penalties. They have to correct those mistakes, too.
Agreed. There's self-inflicted woes there. They fall to 0-6. They got a bye week, and then they head home to take on Penn State. We are going to head to a break. More on Ohio State's big win. Brock and Ashley with their takeaways. Plus, we will hear from Jeremiah Smith. And we will check out the path ahead for the Hoosiers. Favorable is a word I would use. That's ahead on the Final Drive.
Sayin over the middle. Oh, what a catch by Jeremiah Smith. Money on the rise.
Jeremiah Smith might be the only guy who can leave Gus Johnson searching for words. Another spectacular performance for the Buckeye receiver. He and Carnell Tate combined for 247 yards and 3 touchdowns in the win over Penn State. And afterwards, Smith asked about the embarrassment of riches at his position.
It seems like it's Carnell Tate's turn one time and then your turn the next. How formidable a duo do you feel like you guys are right now, being able to?
Best in the country. Yeah. Nobody's better than us two. Even Brandon Ennis as well. I mean, best receiver corps in the country as well. I mean, the whole receiver group, all got talent. We just go out there each and every weekend, put it all on the field.
Jeremiah Smith is not wrong. I mean, you think about Brian Hartline, the offensive coordinator and the wide receiver coach. He's basically got a fantasy room in that wideout room that he's trying to manage. And look, we've talked all season long and for many years about the wide receivers that Ohio State has produced. But can you remember, Brock, a time where there was more talent and depth all at the same time?
They're on track to surpass all of it. Of course, you think of Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson. We're only 8 wins into the season, and Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith are in contention with that. The fact if they go to a championship, they're only halfway through, they're going to pass that up.
Yeah, it's incredible as you look at the all-time receiving touchdown leaders at Ohio State. Jeremiah Smith now in 7th place, tied with Emeka Egbuka. And it is incredible to think about, again, the guys who have come through there. But you also need a quarterback who can pass to all of the talented receivers. Julian Sayin, There is not much more that you can say about the way that he's been playing 8 games into his college career.
Coming into this season, everyone was assuming that Jeremiah Smith was going to be the Heisman frontrunner, not saying he can't be, but saying instead of building up the quarterback, we were giving all the credit to the wide receiver. From this point forward, Julian Sayin has to be recognized as one of the best quarterbacks in college football. He's not draft eligible, which is why he doesn't get talked about as much as the Fernando Mendozas. There is nothing that any other quarterback in college football is doing better than Julian Sayin right now.
All right, so no notes whatsoever for the Ohio State passing game, but I think if there's one thing sort of percolating under the surface here for a team that's going to try and win another national championship, are you concerned about the run game?
If they didn't have these concerns a year ago around this time, then I would be. Yes, they had Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson, but hindsight is 2020. I understand that it wasn't actually a big deal, but people were concerned about the lack of run game, and the running back room this year is not that. No disrespect to them. Going forward, I expect C.J. Donaldson to be the short yardage guy, and really Bo Jackson being the feature back.
And really, and we saw him rip off a big run
Yeah, he did.
In Week 10, but really when you have Julian Sayin and Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith, like, why do you need to run the ball, Dave? You don't need to run the ball. Just keep throwing it. That's all you got to do.
It has worked pretty well for them to this point. I don't think there's any question about that. You see Ohio State at 5-0 in the Big Ten. Indiana is 6-0, and you still got a number of teams there with 1 loss. That number is actually 4, if we were to get specific, and that does make it a little bit interesting with Indiana, guys, just because we were talking about the schedule ahead for the Hoosiers at Penn State, Wisconsin at home, a bye, and then at Purdue. And the thing that all 3 of those teams have in common, as I mentioned earlier, is they have not won a conference game. But even if they were to trip up along the way, you could say, well, they've got a clear path to Indy either way because they have the tiebreaker against Oregon. I do think where it gets interesting is somehow, if Michigan beats Ohio State, we get into some sort of big tiebreaker here. That could be the challenge for IU. But, man, it's just hard to envision them losing with the way they're playing.
Yeah, the way they're playing right now, and they address their issues when they go in offensively. If they're struggling a little bit with pass protection, they pick it up and make those adjustments on the sideline. The way this team is playing in all 3 phases really gives you a lot of belief in that they're going to be there. They just keep getting better each and every week.
Yeah, when you look at the Indiana Hoosiers, when we say, what flaw do they have? We can pick out a flaw from each team. We talk about the number 1 team in the country in Ohio State, and we say, are we worried about their run game? Well, we can't find that one thing. At least I can't find that one thing about Indiana. They show up, they handle their business exactly the way they expect to handle their business. They impose their will. The one time we saw them have a challenge was really that Iowa game, which is an extremely physical team every single time that they touch the field as well. So this Indiana team and the Hoosier fans have a ton to be excited about.
It would be amazing to watch Indiana play Ohio State in Indy for the Big Ten championship, 1 versus 2. That would be extra special. Nope.
We knew it was going to be battle. We play in the Big Ten, and they don't care. They have nothing to lose, and they were going to come out here and fight for 4 quarters, and we knew that from game plan on Sunday and Monday.
Obviously, the very first touchdown pass, Barry, that was 100% Barry. Barry knew right to go to that call immediately. When Barry speaks and speaks with that volume and that intensity, we usually have really good results. So when I hear that on the headset, it makes me smile because I know good things are coming.
My first touchdown pass ever in my career when I was a freshman was to Bennett. So it's awesome to see plays like that happen, and it's just had me fired up.
Yeah, the mood's not great. It's tough. It's quiet. These guys put a lot into it. Yeah, this thing's not easy.
This is what Row the Boat's all about. I don't know what else to say. People can call it corny or whatever it is. After 13 years, it's pretty real. That's how you row the boat. Row the Boat, Scotty Ma, and go Gophers, Big Ten Network.
Need to get PJ to do some promos for it.
I think he just did.
Doesn't get any better than that.
Let's get into the final drive. One thought on each and every team that played on this Saturday. Barcelo, we'll start with you in the Fighting Illini getting a win.
Listen, one of the most well-coached teams that we have in the conference. Bounced back from a bad loss against the Huskies last week and getting it back on track at 6-3.
You see him grin.
Yeah, look at how he did that. You know what, Howard? 16 wins, Over the last 2 years, that is the most in consecutive years for Illinois since 1989 and 90, which is known in those parts as the Howard Griffith era.
Really?
Yeah,
That was a long time ago.
It is a long time ago. How about those Hoosiers, Howard?
Really like what they're doing. You talk about the most complete team probably in the country. When you look at them offense, defense, and special team, really truly a special football team where we're having an opportunity to watch.
10th win by 30 or more points since the start of last year. It's most in the country. The flip side of that game was Maryland, Marcel.
This Maryland team has to figure out a way to get out of their own way. But again, they're going against one of the best teams in the country in Indiana that is absolutely great in every aspect of the game. Just stop. Don't turn the ball over. Get out of your own way. Don't commit penalties.
At Rutgers next week, they'll look to end their 4-game losing streak. Michigan getting a win, Howard, maybe a little closer than expected.
Yeah, obviously closer than they expected, but when you think about Michigan, this is how they want to win football games, controlling on the ground. Did a great job today.
They got a bye week, and then Northwestern. Michigan State, really tough loss.
Yeah, tough one for Michigan State. They came roaring back in the second half, so they have something to build on into next week.
A 6th straight loss for them after a 3-0 start. Flip side of that game was Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota found a way to win this game. It wasn't pretty, but they found a way to get things done, and that's really the way this team has played all year.
They improved to 6-0 at home. Nebraska, Marcel Manna was right there for the taking.
Yeah, tough one for Nebraska. You thought they had it in their hands, had the lead go against SC. Just a tough loss. Hopefully Dylan Raiola gets back and is able to finish the season off.
And the ranked woes continue for them. Matt Rule now 2-24 in his career as a head coach against ranked teams. Ohio State, no such problems, Howard, as the Buckeyes roll again.
Continue to see the big plays out of the pass game, doing a tremendous job there. Defensively, they're playing well. And then the run game, I think it's coming along. They'll be just fine.
Their national best 12th straight win. They're at Purdue next week. That game is here on the Big Ten Network. Flip side of that game is Penn State, Marcel.
Yeah, gave the number one team in the country a run for the money in the first half. Did something that no other team had done in the first half by scoring touchdowns. Just couldn't finish it off with the adjustments in the second half.
Familiar for Penn State. 1-26 now this century against top 5 teams. Howard, Purdue played well, but got a loss.
Yeah, played well, but still can't get over the hump. We say this every week. They're doing all the right things. This team will be fine. They'll break through soon.
OSU, Washington, and Indiana are the next 3. I'm not sure they'll get that win this year, but they're certainly getting better. They are getting better. Let's talk about Rutgers, Marcel. A loss to Illinois and didn't play great, frankly.
Yeah, Rutgers has to find a way not to be one-dimensional on offense and just stop someone on defense. Just get off the football field, tackle and get off the field. Rutgers has to figure it out the last weeks of the season.
Offense has disappeared a little bit, too. 3 of the last 4 games now under 20 points. Finally, SC, that is a really good road win.
That is a huge win. And one of the themes that we've talked about with this football team, when they run the football, good things happen for this SC football team.
They are still in the college football
they
playoff hunt. They have a quick turnaround. Got a
Yeah.
Friday night game at home against Northwestern. We're going to turn things around and talk about our Saturday standout. So many great performances to choose from. We'll let you know who got the nod.
The Final Drive is sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Upsets all over the country on Saturday. Georgia Tech knocked from the ranks of the unbeaten, falling to NC State. Jaden Scott, 30 yards for the touchdown. The Wolfpack winning it by the final of 48-36. One of the big results from the top 10. Others included number 9 Vanderbilt losing at Texas, number 10 Miami falling for the second time this year, an overtime loser at SMU. You see the top of the poll, though, number 1 and number 2, Ohio State and Indiana, right here in the Big Ten, both winning comfortably. Let's get to our Saturday standouts. Howard, lead us off.
Well, we're going to go right to Champaign, and what an unbelievable job Luke continues to do. Did a great job today, 235 yards in the air, 4 touchdowns. He did have an INT, but I thought he was really good at handling the football and making some plays, even using his legs to get into the end zone.
Where are you going, Marcel?
I'm staying with the quarterback theme and going to Ohio State with Julian Sayin, 20 of 23, 316 yards and 4 touchdowns. You get a touchdown. You get a touchdown. You get a touchdown.
Oh, listen to this guy.
I'm going with Jordan Marshall,
Okay.
running back for Michigan. Justice Haynes out. Jordan Marshall says no problem. His third straight game over 100 rushing yards. Went for $185 and 3 touchdowns. Most rushing yards by a Wolverine since Donovan Edwards in the 2022 Big Ten championship game. The Don.
The Don, right? He's a good player, man.
He's an awfully good
guy.
player.
I
And
like
so
him a
is
lot.
Jordan Marshall.
Yeah.
Your thoughts as we head into Tuesday and the first college football playoff ranking?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting when you start to talk about that third team in the Big Ten and even the fourth team. Where will they be positioned in the first poll?
I'm saying the fourth team in the Big Ten. We know we have the solidified number 1 and number 2, 3 and 4 coming up right in the rear.
We will have a lot to talk about during the course of this
Yes.
week. Big Ten Today. We'll see you back here next Saturday as well. Take care.